Hey everyone, welcome into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. I am your host, Shad Dales. In today's headline, the new Republican National Committee chair wants to legalize cannabis. Yes, that's right. A major shift in the GOP, and it could have ripple effects all the way to the federal policy. So let's dig into who this is, what it means, and why it matters. So right now, let's get into the latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. Let's first begin with the man, Joe Gruters, a Republican state senator from Florida, was recently elected chair of the Republican National Committee, unopposed with President Trump's full endorsement. And here's the twist. Gruters is openly supportive of cannabis legalization. He even campaigned in favor of Florida's Amendment 3 initiative, though it didn't, as we know, meet the 60% threshold needed to pass. Trump's social media endorsement of Gruters included support for Amendment 3, which branded legalization for adults as common sense. That represents a break from historic GOP skepticism. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he criticized Gruters, calling him aligned with mega weed. But Trump pushed back, highlighting that aligning with cannabis reform it actually could help attract younger and independent voters. So that's notable because today, cannabis reform polls well across age groups and political affiliations. So with that, why put a pro-legalization Republican at the national party helm? It's increasingly clear this is strategy. Marijuana legalization consistently polls above 60% nationally, with support among conservatives crossing into majority territory. So having someone like Gruters signals that the GOP is looking to meet evolving public views. So it's not just about optics, it's an overt effort to court younger voters and broaden the party's appeal on issues that are no longer niche, but mainstream. If Gruters steers the party in a more cannabis-friendly direction, that could shift the national conversation, especially paired with possible moves like rescheduling cannabis federally. So this moment really dovetails into another major shift. President Trump reportedly is weighing in on cannabis rescheduling, as we know, from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under federal law. That move would reduce research restrictions, ease tax burdens via 280E relief, and legitimize cannabis businesses, though without full legalization. Pair that now with the GOP chair openly embracing reform, and you've got a powerful combination. Federal rescheduling isn't full decriminalization, but it's a monumental step, and more importantly, it reflects a shift in party posture. So what does this mean for the Republican Party? Because as we know, it historically is rooted in social conservatism. It has long opposed marijuana legalization as well. But today, public opinion tells a different story. According to Gallup, 70% of U.S. adults support legalization, and that includes a growing share of self-identified conservatives and Republicans. So with leaders like Gruters stepping forward, and with some GOP governors and lawmakers signaling openness, it's clear the party is beginning to wrestle with a new reality. Cannabis policy is becoming a strategic advantage, not just a cultural wedge issue, something we continue to repeat here over and over again. So now let's break down what happens next. First, as RNC chair, Gruters has the platform to shift party messaging, but he doesn't have unilateral power to write a new cannabis platform. That said, today's RNC chairs influence fundraising, branding, and voter outreach. We'll likely see messaging that's more cannabis inclusive, especially aimed at younger and suburban voters. Second, this may add momentum to federal rescheduling, though that's still under review and reliant on DOJ, HHS, and the DEA. If the rescheduling move happens, GOP-controlled committees and Gruters' leadership could align to push legislation banking reform or broader access. And finally, watch the states. Republican-led states may become more open to legalization or medical reforms, especially if they hear it's a GOP-supported mainstream policy issue. So really, let's recap here. 1. Joe Gruters, a pro-cannabis Florida GOP senator, is now RNC chair, endorsed by President Trump. 2. His views represent an ideological shift for the Republican Party, aligning with evolving public sentiments. And 3. Combined with a possible federal rescheduling, this marks real political momentum for reform. And lastly, number 4, this may reposition cannabis policy as a GOP innovation, not a liability. This spinning of policy and politics is key in how reform continues to advance. If you're a cannabis business or an advocate or a voter, these are developments you need to track closely. So that's a wrap for our latest TDR Cannabis in 5. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think about Joe Gruters being elected chair of the Republican National Committee and really the impact it could have on the cannabis industry? Want to to keep this conversation going. So again, leave your comments below. As usual, if you like this breakdown, make sure to give it a like, share it with your network, and make sure to smash on that bell for all notifications. And one last thing, if you haven't done so already, as much as 60% of our audience that consumes our content each month is not subscribed. So greatly appreciate if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend, and like I always say, stay open-minded, stay connected, and I'll see you next time at our latest TDR Cannabis in 5 presented by Dutchie. I'm your host, Shad Dales, and thanks again for watching.